Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ray661 and I'm bringing you a TvT on Metalopolis. On the bottom we have EmpireKas and on the top we have ProdiGY. ProdiGY is the blue Terran, EmpireKas is the red Terran, as you can see. I have heard of both of these players. EmpireKas has competed in several tournaments, and ProdiGY, I've seen him compete against several of top tier players, but I don't know ProdiGY as well as EmpireKas. Empire is a team, and I don't know any of the other players besides Kas. So, I guess we'll find out how the two players actually play against each other. I haven't actually seen a good TvT in quite a while, and I'm hoping this one has a lot to offer. As for why you're not hearing dubstep anymore, sorry, I decided to stop playing music because of the fact of how difficult it is to not synchronize, but to do the audio well, and that pretty much means that I'm just not going to bother with it anymore. Whenever I start doing streams, I will definitely be playing music while I stream, but that'll pretty much be the extent of that. For both sides right now, we have barracks coming down. They're pretty much even, like flawlessly even. ProdiGY started a supply depot to finish off the wall off, making sure he doesn't get scouted. And EmpireKas isn't even bothering with a wall off at this particular moment. Supplies are the same. Monies are, if you don't count the supply depot, monies are pretty much the same as well. Looks like they're about to go into the orbital commands. It seems pretty normal. I think it's 11 barracks into orbital command. What they'll do after this, who knows? Neither of them are going for gas. Here goes a command center for EmpireKas on the 3-minute and 10-second mark. Or 16 supply, whichever you'd rather say. ProdiGY does scout the command center and does get into the base, sees just about everything, while EmpireKas, from what I'm thinking, didn't even scout. ProdiGY is now also expanding at 20 himself, and they're still pretty mirrored with the exception of ProdiGY is getting a refinery now, whereas EmpireKas got his command center. There we go. Command center a little bit earlier. Now we have EmpireKas going for a triple barracks play early on, and now dropping his own refinery, whereas ProdiGY's double barracks is a little bit behind. So everything that he's doing, aside from the simulator, is behind for ProdiGY, but he will have more gas than EmpireKas since he went the refinery first. But now we see EmpireKas getting both of his refineries right now, meaning that in all actuality, it's pretty much going to end up being balanced between the two. And ProdiGY's putting a little pressure with his Marines, but since it's a 3 Marine versus 4 Marine right now, not really going to work out too well, so he's retreating. We see a tech lab going down for one of the barracks on ProdiGY's side, and we see a tech lab also going down for EmpireKas. The tech lab for EmpireKas is a hair behind. So far it seems pretty much the same. Now we have a little bit more of a deviation. We have combat shields going down first for ProdiGY, and we have the stim pack coming down for EmpireKas. Stim pack is going to take longer to finish than a combat shields by a good minute, it looks like, but the stim pack will be much more effective overall compared to the combat shield. Now we have 2 reactors coming down that get scanned immediately by EmpireKas, and these are going like almost mirrored. We have a factory coming down for EmpireKas, And a factory going down for ProdiGY. This can't get any more mirrored than what it is, with the exception of this upgrade choice. But I would not be surprised for them to start producing the opposite upgrade between the two of them as soon as they're done being researched. So we have, let's see, where's all of your tech? Am I looking at the wrong person? I'm looking at the wrong person. Yes, I am. Alright, we have a starport going down for EmpireKas, whereas the factory for ProdiGY has not finished quite yet. We also have an engineering bay going with +1 already up for EmpireKas, where the engineering bay is still being made. These players are going like pretty much mirrored as you possibly can get. So it's going to be interesting, because if this is the way it's going to end up playing out, it's going to be more so on a basis of tech lab on the factory here, nothing on the factory here. In fact, the tech lab was switched out for medevac. For the reactor was switched out for the starport, so the starport can make double the banshees. So I'd have to say, right now, EmpireKas's just general build is better, as he is a little farther ahead. But that little farther ahead is really, really minute. I can't really say it's, going to give either player much of an advantage or disadvantage, respectively. And we have a small supply block going down for EmpireKas, so he drops that. And he loaded up 2 medevacs. It's probably going to end up being a drop. This pressure up at the front is either going to pressure the front as soon as he responds to the drop, or he's going to just attack a little bit up at the front and then retreat. That's what I'm expecting him to do. So now we have the drop coming down. It's going to be placed right here, obviously. And we have ProdiGY pushing back EmpireKas's Marines. And this is going to be really bad if all of this pushes. But here, the command center is going to go, orbital command rather, is going to go down, and that's going to be very, very bad. So ProdiGY has to apply some kind of pressure and actually do some kind of damage right now with this push, and he's probably going to do a lot of damage. I'm not going to lie. I mean, he's very outnumbered. SCVs need to be pulled. It's just, yeah, this is just going to be bad for EmpireKas if he doesn't figure out a way to stop this. And I'm thinking with as many SCVs as he's losing, this is GG. It was a good amount of pressure here, but this is already, he's done. Yeah, there's really not much left to say. The game's over. He doesn't even have a siege tank. His expansion's gone. Yeah, the expansion is gone for him, but look at how many forces is being reinforced. So here in a little bit, it's just all the SCVs are gone. I mean, like, actually, yeah, blue can still win this just because of the amount of Marines he has, but they're actually pretty even in terms of harvesters. And with this expo coming down, red has the advantage. EmpireKas has the advantage for that siege tank is going to be enough. Yeah, this game's over. I'd still call it for ProdiGY. ProdiGY wins. There it is. GG. So for nearly mirrored builds, the problem that ended up having is the fact that whenever red came in to do this drop here, he ended up doing a lot of damage. A lot of damage. However, the problem ended up being that ProdiGY just was like, well, all your Marines are in my base, so why don't I just attack and kill you with all of my Marines? And that's pretty much what ended up happening, is ProdiGY just ended up attacking with his Marines and killed everything. And since since half the army of EmpireKas was gone, we really couldn't respond that well to it. So that's GG for EmpireKas, and pretty much, in my opinion, a pretty lame TvT, but this will give you a good idea of what build orders, what is a good build order to do in general, because the fact that those two had real mirrored builds. So anyway, this is Ray661 signing out.